Every time you or someone you love has ever been protected by a vaccine, the story leads back to one quiet morning in a small English village, a young dairymaid, and a cow named Blossom. Stay with us today, because by the end of this video, you are going to discover that one of the greatest gifts in human history came not from a grand laboratory or a famous university, but from something a milkmaid said while washing her hands. It is May 14th, 1796, and Dr. Edward Jenner is a 46-year-old country physician in the village of Berkeley, England. He is not a famous man. He is not a wealthy man. He is simply a doctor who pays very close attention to the world around him. And for more than 20 years, Edward Jenner has been turning one small observation over and over in his mind, like a stone in his pocket. It starts when he is just a young medical apprentice, barely a teenager, working for a country surgeon. One afternoon, a dairymaid comes in for treatment. She is cheerful, rosy-cheeked, and entirely unconcerned about the disease that is killing people all around her. Smallpox was everywhere in 1770s England. It kills roughly 1 in every 10 people it touches. It disfigures survivors for life, leaving their faces scarred and pitted so deeply that people cross the street to avoid them. But the dairymaid waves her hand and says something that stops young Edward cold. "I shall never have smallpox," she tells him, "for I have had cowpox. I shall never have an ugly, pockmarked face." She says it as if it is the most ordinary thing in the world, a piece of country gossip passed between farmers and milkmaids for generations. But Edward Jenner files it away like a treasure, and for the next 2 decades, he watches. He notices again and again that the dairymaids of Gloucestershire, the women who spend their days with their hands on the udders of infected cows, almost never catch smallpox. They catch cowpox, a mild disease that gives them sores on their hands and a few days of fever, and then they seem to be completely, mysteriously protected. Jenner becomes convinced that cowpox is the key, that somehow this gentle animal disease is teaching the human body to defend itself against its deadly cousin. His colleagues think he is ridiculous. They roll their eyes at his country theories. They tell him he is chasing folklore. Jenner does not argue with them. He waits. Then, on a morning in May 1796, a young dairymaid named Sarah Nelms came to see Dr. Jenner about a rash on her hand. She has cowpox. She caught it from a cow named Blossom. Edward Jenner looks at the sores on Sarah's hand. He looks out the window at the fields. He thinks of the dairymaid he heard all those years ago. And he makes a decision that could just as easily have destroyed his reputation as made his name. He sends for James Phipps. James is 8 years old, the son of Jenner's own gardener. He is a healthy, bright-eyed boy who trusts the doctor completely. On May 14, 1796, Edward Jenner took a small amount of fluid from one of the cowpox sores on Sarah Nelm's hand. He makes 2 small cuts on James Phipps's arm, and he introduces the cowpox material beneath the skin. James develops a mild fever. He feels unwell for a few days, and then he recovers completely. On July 1, 1796, Dr. Jenner did something that took every ounce of his courage. He inoculates young James Phipps again, but this time it is with material taken directly from a human smallpox sore. The most dangerous disease in the world was introduced into the arm of an 8-year-old child. James Phipps does not get sick, not even a little. The cowpox has protected him completely. Edward Jenner sits down and writes a single sentence in his notebook: "The boy is well." Jenner rushes to publish his findings. The Royal Society, England's most prestigious scientific institution, reads his paper and rejects it. They call his ideas unbelievable, in variance with established knowledge. They warn him that publishing such wild notions will destroy his professional reputation. Jenner publishes them anyway, on his own, at his own expense. And the world does not just listen. The world changes. Within 18 months of his findings becoming known, smallpox deaths in England dropped by 2/3. By 1800, more than 100,000 people around the world had been vaccinated. Napoleon Bonaparte, who is at war with England at this very moment, makes an exception for Edward Jenner. He releases English prisoners of war at Jenner's personal request. When asked why he would do such a thing for an enemy, Napoleon replies simply, "Ah, Jenner, I can refuse nothing to one of the greatest men in history." Jenner named his discovery vaccination, from the Latin word vacca, meaning cow. He gave the word virus to the world. He calls himself, with quiet humor, the vaccine clerk to the world. And on October 26, 1980, nearly 200 years after that morning in Berkeley, the World Health Organization announced that smallpox had been completely eradicated from the face of the Muldapore. All because a dairymaid said something to a young medical apprentice. All because he listened. The only human disease in history to be wiped out entirely. Here is what stays with me about Edward Jenner. He did not have permission to be right. His colleagues laughed at him. The Royal Society sent his work back. But he had seen something true with his own eyes, and no amount of official disapproval could make him unsee it. He trusted what he knew. And because he did, it is estimated that his work has saved more than 300 million lives. More than any other single person in history. Now let me ask you something. Think about the people in your own family who trusted what they knew, even when the world told them they were wrong. The ones who took a leap, tried something new, or simply kept going when everyone else said it was impossible. Do you have those stories written down? Because those stories are every bit as powerful as Edward Jenner's. And the people who come after you, your children, your grandchildren, the ones you may never even meet, will one day wish more than anything that they could read them. If you have ever wanted to write your family's legacy stories but never quite knew how to start, I would love to help you today. Right below this video, completely free, is our Family Story Writing Guide. It is a gift from us to you because your story deserves to be written down, every single word of it. And if today's story moved you, please hit subscribe and join the History Sparks community. Every day, we bring you a story just like this one about the ordinary people who did extraordinary things and left the world forever changed. We cannot wait to see you tomorrow